Hi, well, I'm Graeme Yorston, Chief Operating Officer, Principality Building Society. Here we are in our head office, so welcome to my world. I'll have to say school was a bit of a mystery to me, right from a young age. I'm not sure I really saw the linkages between an education and employment and where that was going to take me. I wasn't really clear what it was I wanted to do with my life in any event. I was still too interested in sport, struggled a bit. And I think it's all about maturity, because what I always say to people is I was a late maturer. I really matured quite late in life. My work experience was all around a very early paper round. I'd then head off to a factory where I did all sorts of labouring jobs just to earn a few quid. And then after I'd finished there, about 4 or 5 o'clock at night, I'd go to a filling station where I would serve fuel. And I think that what that showed me was the capacity I had and work ethic. My first job was still a bit of a stumble into, to be honest. I didn't know what I wanted to do. My mother at the time was an agent for a building society, and she said to me, look, time you had to think about doing a job, a proper job. And so I took my first job as a management trainee with Abbey National. I just turned 17, so I didn't go near university. I guess what inspires me is seeing success. And I've been very fortunate to have done a lot of sports, participated and supporting sports. I spent my life copying people. I'm not afraid to say that. I look for the great things in people and I try to understand what makes them great, and there are always little things that you pick up on. I think some of the barriers I faced as I rose through my organisation that I worked in previously was this whole issue of education. Although I'd been successful in rising through the organisation quite quickly, getting an education late in life was what I undertook to overcome some of the perceptions that people had. I never put myself down as being intellectually bright, so therefore what I had to do is work very, very hard. And I undertook a master's degree part-time, but that was a huge, huge challenge. When I was holding down a big job, I had a young family and trying to do all of that. Now, I would say to people, it's right for people when it's right for them to do it. And that may be at 18 or 19-year-old. In my case, it happened to be very much later in my life. What I learned was about capacity and how I could work through the night if I needed to deliver papers that had to be in by a deadline, and that's where the milkman and I would say hello at 5 o'clock in the morning as I was finishing off my papers from the previous night. There's many, many ways to achieve success. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to go the route that everybody takes. People often say there's nothing so certain as change, because things will change. So be open to that change, but also be flexible. But the biggest thing I think that people need to be able to demonstrate these days is a hugely strong work ethic.